Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks. This is part 2. This is really just about making a jig to glue these 6 crosses together. Whenever you're gluing something like this, it's pretty difficult because the glue is going to slip a little bit. And I stated in the other video that the top was a little bit different than all of them, but they're all the same. This is a little bit fragile, so I wouldn't use that. So I'm going to go side by side. So what I'm going to do is I don't know if this is his laser bit or just what he's working on, but I would make if I hold down the shift key and double click the rectangle tool, it makes a rectangle. I'm going to increase it by 110%. So I made a box, okay? That's going to be a layer of wood to set this on. But what we need to do is make as a matter of fact, I'm going to take away the color of this. Well, I'm grabbing the box. I'm going to take away the color so you can just see the outline. I'm going to go ahead and make it in red in this hairline, which it should be. I'm going to draw a box, a rectangle, just about like right there. And it'd really be nice to go ahead and just take this and move it over here, you don't want to go past that hump because you're going to have trouble getting it out. So then what we're going to do, we're going to take the Smart Fill tool and we're going to let's use green. So we made a new shape, okay? But before we do that, and that's I'm going to show you in just a second. What we need to do is you need to go to your stash of dowels or go to Hobby Lobby and buy a dowel. And let's use a 1/4-inch dowel. Okay, so we have a 1/4-inch dowel. We'll go and make it red and make sure it's a hairline, and it is. And we're going to put 2 dowels in our box. I hit the plus key on the keyboard. They don't have to be perfectly aligned, because what we're going to do, we're actually going to put them over here. And it would be nice if they were perfectly aligned, but it doesn't have to be because you're just going to use them as a jig. So then what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to take the Smart Fill tool, I'm going to fill that in with that green. I'm going to set his nudge factor on like 3 inches. And I'm going to nudge that out of the way. And then I'm going to take my Smart Fill tool and fill that in and nudge it out of the way. Now I'm going to take my rectangle box away and my rectangle box away. And I am going to take my cross and nudge it out of the way. I must have had 2 copies of it. So cut you a piece of wood with your laser and drill those holes and do a test. You could test it up here you want your dowel to be tight where you can just barely get it in there. Now, if we take this and we left click, we'll make it black. And you nudge that over, and you could actually take another piece of wood, and it doesn't really matter, what you do, and cut you out. You need 6 of these, 6 sets. So you're going to make, multiple cuts. Just kind of remember that they're not equal, so you need to make sure the left one is right. You don't have to sand them or anything. But then what you're going to do, you're going to take them and you're going to glue your dowel into this backer board. And then you're going to take this and just set on top of that dowel. And you want your dowel to be long enough where it's going to have 6 layers of wood on top of it. So what you're making is a fixture where that cross has to fit inside there 6 times and up. And then once we take your cross, your first layer, and move it in there, it can't move because it's being held in there by your jig. Now, it might be a little bit tight, but as you go up the scale, it's really going to help you. And then all you have to do when you, and I've got a video on this, it's hard to get just a small amount of glue on something. And what I did one year, I took a piece of wax paper and stretched it out and taped it on the corner so it wouldn't move. And I just took a dollop of wood glue and I used a little brush and I spread it out really, really thin. And then I just took my cross and just set it on there for a second, took it off, and then put it in the other hole. So that's how it's going to help you, you know, because if you try to brush that stuff on and see, look at that. So the next layer is going to be there. Then take the next layer and use that glue. It's really the best way that I know of. There's actually a spray adhesive, but the spray might get down in your parts. Where if you just use it takes very little wood glue. I mean, if it's just damp, you don't want it to squeeze out. So then after you have all 6 of your parts in there, let's go ahead and put the white one in there. So that's what it would look like at the end. And then just take you some sort of weights. Take a couple of cans and put pennies in them, or, you know, something for weight. Put wax paper on top and then hold them down for 30 minutes, and then you can remove them. So just emphasize, so you're going to need 6 sets of these and stack them up prior to gluing them, and you'll be amazed how easy it is to glue stuff like this together. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.